Sentire Media.
Ciao a tutti and welcome to Venice Talks, a podcast series dedicated to Venice in Italy. I'm your host, Monica Cesarato, a Venetian food and travel blogger. Join me as I share my insider knowledge to help you explore Venice at 360 degrees. In this weekly podcast, we'll dive into the heart of a city, uncovering hidden stories and connecting with the people who make Venice unique. The artisans, the writers, the fashion designers, the bloggers, the journalists, and more. Let's break free from cliché and discover the true essence of Venice, not just the monuments, but the vibrant people, the Venetians. Experience Venice the right sustainable way. You can find me on my blog at www.monicacesarato.com and across all social media platforms. Enjoy the episode and let's journey through Venice together. Venice is more than what you see. It is made of memories. For Venice Talks, I'm collecting voices. Send a short audio clip to info@monicacesarato.com and tell me what you love about Venice, a place, a moment, or a feeling. And don't forget to follow for new episodes and updates and to comment to take part in the conversation. Your audio could be featured in Venice Talks. Welcome back to Venice Talks, Season 4, Episode 2. Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Venice Talks, and today my special guest is none other than Matteo Seguso, the most famous Murano glass engraver from Murano. Ciao Matteo, how are you?
Ciao, hi everybody. Thank you for the beautiful word. Not the best one, but I try to do my
No,
best.
you are. Well, at least you're the most famous, okay?
I don't know, but every day I try to do that. So to be the famous one. So it's not easy, but we are working on.
Oh, yeah, of course. I know you are. Listen, when did you first realize that glass was not just a material, but a language that was waiting to be spoken? What was the exact moment when you decided to change your life and do what you do?
Honestly, there wasn't a real and defined moment because I started to be a glass engraver just for fun, just to make a pleasure to my father.
Okay.
Just close to retirement, he asked me, "Do you want to try to be an engraver too?" Because he was an engraver. And honestly, in the past, my study was focused on the accountant. Then my first job was electrician.
Okay.
And really, when my father was close to retirement, asked me just like a pleasure, "Do you want to try to be an engraver?"
But
And
how old were you?
26, more or less.
Oh, quite. I mean, still young, but quite later in somebody's life.
That wasn't my anything in my mind about glass.
Okay.
I mean, electricity was always is always like an hobby, like a passion. So
okay, but
I
so
was so happy
Matteo,
to be.
Matteo,
and
your
then,
dad, you telling me your dad was an engraver. So when you were a child, when you were a kid, you never went in his shop and learned from him?
every day. And also in the past, I tried. I played a little bit with the wheels and the glass, but I never thought that the glass in the future could be my job, my work, my art. So
that's
I
so
started to do
interesting.
really just to make a pleasure to my father.
Mm-hmm.
And during the first hard period, because moving from a job when you're all day standing, all day moving, stay seated all day long was a completely different way to work, and it was hard, very hard. But as I told you, there was a special moment, but during the training, I started to be like attracted. There is nothing that changed my mind, but just working on the glass, on engraving. And when it's like when you find and you meet the right person, a beautiful girl who fell in love, it was more or less the same stuff. I fell in love in a few months, and I started to be curious, and I started to work, try, practice, and work.
Okay.
And so my starting point.
Okay. And you never stopped?
No, luckily
Okay.
no. I'm still
No,
going
what I'm saying,
and
you carry on now. Okay,
no,
so
I'm going, and I hope for the future too. There will be a lot of glass engraving work.
explain me a little bit what involves glass engraving because there aren't that many people in Murano that do it. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's correct, and likely there are not too much people that work on glass engraving. Glass
Yeah.
engraving
Well, for
is
good. Yeah, it's good for you.
for me, yeah, for sure. Glass engraver is engraving is a called second working, second step. Is a
Okay.
cold work. I
Mm.
mean, when someone create the glass, blue glass, flame glass, or any kind of glass is already done, we start to add. In the past, it was like an ornamental pattern to
Uh-huh.
personalization, to
Mm-hmm.
add something more because in the past Murano was born like all the glass factories to create glass object,
Mm-hmm.
but for daily life.
Yes.
Then someone changed his mind and started to create something like artistic,
Mm-hmm.
a different point of view about glass. So the people needed, wanted, was looking for something new, something that give more value on the object. And
Mm-hmm.
so they started to paint and also to engrave. Engrave is nothing more than using some material, in the past copper, stone, and now diamond wheels, to
Mm-hmm.
carve, to hit the glass and create pattern, drawing, anything that you want on the glass, going inside the glass, going
Mm-hmm.
deep inside the glass.
I mean, engraving always intrigued me because I follow people that do cameos on corals and on on shells and stuff like that, and it always kind of amazed me because you make a mistake, that's it, done. You can't go
No,
back. You can't just okay, let me delete it. So you got to be so precise.
I can't tell you all the secrets because
No, of
otherwise I
course you
have to
can't.
tell
Of
you,
course, of course. Just say yes,
for
okay?
sure, normally when you make a mistake, 99% we are able to save the mistake if you scratch or something else. Also
Yeah.
because we can do on the glass the same stuff that we can do on the wood. So if
Okay.
you make a chip on the wood, you use a sand belt or
Okay.
something else, and the refiner remove the
Mm.
chip,
Hmm.
repolish all the stuff.
But
Normally, when you
still,
make yes, all the material more or less are the same, and
hmm,
sometimes it's not easy to understand how we can work on glass because glass is a so fragile material, but at the
esatto.
same time is an hard material.
Uh-huh.
So the hardness of the glass help us to do what we want. Not always because we must follow what the glass allows us. I mean,
Yes.
when you blow, when you flame, when you could work the glass, you have always the follow what the glass allows to do you to do. I mean, the glass drive you a little bit.
Hmm. Yes.
So you are to understand how to follow the glass but achieve what you want.
Okay.
Nothing
Uh,
more than this.
When you engrave a piece, how much of Venice do you feel you are engraving into the glass together with your own identity?
And normally
Haha.
when you engrave, you for sure put transfer a part of you because
Mm.
each engraving is made but by a person. So when my father engraved in the past, he used some movement, some detail that was typical and identify him directly. I do the
Hmm.
same. His
Okay.
partner, business partner, to my uncle, to all the friends that they know now around the world, have like a fingerprint, something like this, because there
Haha.
are some movements, some detail that can identify you.
Oh, cool. Like a painter, the painter put a signature and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Because
Okay.
work, you are moving your hand. It's like when you write. All
Mm.
the type of writing is completely different one from the other one. So
Engraving developed, changed a lot from what it used to be? I'm talking about even in tools or, the knowledge, or at the end
for
of the
sure,
day, it's always like it used to be.
absolutely, because the improvement of the technology helped us.
Mm-hmm.
The discovery of new material
Mm-hmm.
helped us. And the way to work and changing the way, for example, when I started, I followed some steps.
Mm-hmm.
Now I changed all the steps because I discovered that some wheel can be used in a different way. In the past,
Okay.
for example, when I started, there were some stone wheels that
Mm-hmm.
are difficult to work. I mean, the stone sometimes is catched, attracted by the glass, so
Mm-hmm.
is hardest to control the wheel. Now with the diamond, that is a very hard material that engrave it, carve the glass quickly and fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier. So movement are easier,
Mm.
faster. And so when all the engraving, like all the job in the world, started by hand. I mean,
Mm.
they started with a tool, with the
Mm-hmm.
hand, with no tools, with not machinery, with not lathe, to engrave the glass. Then
Mm.
they invented the lathe, but in the past there weren't the electricity. So
Mm-hmm.
they used a pedal, like a seesaw machine.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Like, yeah, 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 of course, yeah.
yeah, they started in this way. Then they moved with the material using the first type of wheels were made in copper. But the
Okay.
copper is a material that is not able to carve twisted glass. So
Okay.
we in the past we mixed like is a material called carborundum or corundum
Mm-hmm.
is mixed with oil, and they create like a mud that
Mm-hmm.
was put on the wheel. So this material, abrasive material, put on the wheel, hit the glass, engraved
Okay.
the glass. Now we changed because then they discovered, like in the mill, that the stone can carve it the glass. So
Mm.
they changed it. They removed the copper and they use the stone to engrave. You don't need anymore the powdered because the stone is able to is a material that is abrasive and hardest than the glass. So they
Uh-huh.
engraved with the stone. Then the technology started to create some wheels made with the old powdered corindone and carborundum. And
Okay.
so we started with the new tools. Now, and in the last probably 20 or something more years, they used, like the dentist, diamond powdered wheels.
Okay.
And
Okay.
this tool is the last one. Now they change a little bit. They change the material, the glue to let the powder of the diamond to be connected. But the idea is the same. Every time we change it and improve the material. So
Mm.
step by step, day by day, by year, we change the material. That helped
Mm-hmm.
us a lot. We
Mm.
started by hand, we moved with a pedal, then we moved to electricity, and the speed was changed by belt
Uh-huh.
on the step pulley. Now there is just a button and a small wheel that you can adjust the speed.
But,
Every,
but
yeah,
at the end of the day, you still need your hands.
for sure. I
I
mean,
mean,
I
you
am
have the tools. The tools are, more easier to use. But at the end of the day, it still ends, and that's where I want to come to you. About the authenticity. I mean, how can people see the difference between something that is being carved by hand and something
it's
that
not easy.
wasn't?
Sometimes it's not easy for me to, I mean,
Oh,
after
really?
20 more years that I'm working on engraving, I can identify if it's a copper or stone or something else. But now the engraving, I mean, we were talking about my hand must be on the job,
Mhm.
So we are a craftsman.
Yes.
So we must be always in the process
Mhm.
because there are other kind of engraving, laser,
Yeah, that's
NC.
why. Yeah, that's why I was asking. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not is a different way to engrave. It's not more craft. but is automatic one. So
Exactly. So, but
I decided,
the people, Matteo, the people like me that don't have any knowledge of it, and you present me two pieces next to each other, have I got any chance to understand which one is authentic and which one is made by the machine?
you can, if there are some mistakes, let me
Okay.
this word is handmade, because
Okay.
normally the automatic process don't make mistakes.
Okay, so is the usual trick. Put two things that are next to each other, and if they are identical, then you know it was a machine. If they're slightly
Yeah, yeah.
different, you know they're done by hand. Okay, it is the
Also,
same. Yeah, yeah.
also in this case, when I engrave, for example, a set of the same goblet, glasses, or anything
Mm-hmm.
else, I don't want to try to make them perfectly
Of course.
because each piece is a unique piece.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Well,
So
it
I,
has to
I
be.
must I must show that is handmade.
Yes, of course, of
I,
course. But
because in the past someone complained about a pattern. They told me you don't use your hand. It was engraved by machine. No, I use for sure. I use the lathe, but I moved the glass on the lathe. No, that's impossible. Are so perfect. So from that point, yeah, yeah,
you became too good.
yeah. I tried to make my best to be so perfect that was a complaint. From that point, I wanted that the people see that are different,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that are something that identify like a unique piece.
Yeah, of course, of course. What is the strangest thing you actually ever carved?
A lot because
Oh, I thought you were
for
gonna say
example,
nothing. Nice
no,
one.
strange. Normally, when you work, I'm lucky because I work with a big brand, with a designer, with a
Mm-hmm.
lot of persons, and every time is like a challenge because
Okay.
uh, normally when you work with a designer, they work on a piece of paper
Mm-hmm.
using a pen, a pencil, or now by computer. But when you have to transform something that have a depth, that have a movement, it's not easy because
Of course.
when I engrave, I don't move the, let me use this word, the pen on the sheet, but
Mm-hmm.
I move the sheet on the pen. So the
Okay.
movement is completely different.
Okay.
And the result is not like when you use a pen, teeny lines connected with making shadow, making cracks with the pen. But I carve, I hit the glass, so I go in deep. So it's like a bas relief. It's
Mm-hmm.
more like a sculpture than
Yes.
a paint. So
Mm-hmm.
when I use my wheels, I have nothing so pointy. Normally, I use something wide. If I have to
Mm-hmm.
engrave, for example, a body of a person, I don't engrave the board, the age of the figure, but I
Mm.
carve directly the width of the body. So
Okay.
it's completely different. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they ask something strange. And
Okay.
also, the easiest pattern could be the hardest one because the request is so strange, as you
Mm-hmm.
say. And
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
so
And the biggest carving you ever done?
in the past, I worked with Lino Tagliapietra a lot,
Uh-huh.
and his work art, the bigger one was longer, 2 meter and 20 centimeters, more or less. Not too
Whoa.
much, not too wide, not too much wide, but more or less like this. And
Okay. How
sometimes
did you do that?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I was young, so now I'm not able to. But in the past, you are young, you try to make something strange. But
Okay.
also, he worked on the heavy pieces, like
Okay.
5, 6, 10 kilos.
Oh, wow.
So and I
Mm.
spent some time 1 week on just on one piece. So in the
Wow.
past, when I have a collaboration with Lino, I have been his a cold worker for 11 years. Also in this case, it was every time a challenge because the shapes, the size, everything of the object was different. But wasn't so hard, like, so, for example, something smaller.
Is it actually harder to work on something small or something big?
Depend
Okay.
which is the engraving that you have to do. I mean, if you have to make something very, very detailed, is easier in a middle way. Also because if you're working on a small piece, you have less possibility to make a mistake. I mean,
Okay.
when you
Yeah.
make a mistake, you have no option to save too much.
Mm-hmm.
The big one, you have more space, you can increase something, move a little bit on left and right, up and down. A small one, you must be more precise.
Precisely. Yeah, yeah, of
The
course.
one, if you have a big, big object, it's not easy to use a small, small wheel because the weight on the wheel uncenter the wheel. So sometimes when you touch the wheel uncenter and
Right.
start to shake it. So it's not easy. But there are a lot of tricks that help me to do that.
Well, I hope so. Listen, your website carries a timeline of journeys from Venice, from United States to Australia. How has
Yeah.
going all over the world influenced you as a creator? You know, and your creative voice. Have you applied, I don't know, inspiration techniques that you learned when you traveled, or have you kept more on the tradition of what you've been doing for years?
Absolutely, the option, the opportunity to go out of this small island helped me a lot to improve, to increase, and mainly to open and wide the range of my mind. I mean, the island is like a small village. Normally, also in the past, the word that everybody said was, we always do that, we should continue to do that.
Yes, that's the old
Instead,
generation.
the old generation. Instead, when I started to move, always like thanks to Lino Tagliapietra, I discovered that for sure the glass wasn't made just in Murano, but there was different approaching way to the glass. Also the way to give interpretation, the way to also the tools. I found a lot of new tools, new material all around the world, and always I took with me everything and I shared it with all the cold workers there because Murano is become famous because changed the way to work the glass
Yes.
from industrial daily glass to something artistic. And but once Murano reached the famous, they stop a little bit.
Yes.
Now it's not easy to find someone that is looking for something new, making experiment. And the world instead that started after us is with a different point of view. Is always looking for something new, how to change, how to improve, how to increase. And so the movement all around the world helped me a lot. Also because when normally you move, I move, I give class, and
Yes.
as always, the question that are called the silly question instead are so useful that help you too much sometimes. A question, really a curiosity of a student sometimes open your mind that, for example, you have a problem with an engraving since 1 month. Just one question from a newbie that have no idea what engraving means can help you. So
Okay.
this is really, really helpful.
So, yeah, I was gonna actually ask you what's the most powerful thing the students have taught you, and you just read my mind. So, and I think it's the problem. Well, no, it's not maybe, it is the problem of Murano, that they're so closed that as you say, they reach the point where they think they've done everything they could do and they don't want to share it with anybody. And instead, it should be the other way around. we can always grow, we can always learn. But I think maybe your generation of Murano, all sort of carvers, glass makers, and so on. So you are changing because I see the new generation, you're more open to the world. Am I wrong, or is it still
No,
very?
no, it's right, because the younger, the new generation moved around the world, and
Yeah.
also the technology, internet, everything helped us to be connected with all the world.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't stay focused and fixed on the past. For sure, we have to follow with the tradition. We have
Obviously.
to keep in mind our roots, the starting point, everything. But we need to be competitive because
Of course.
now what we do can be do on the other side of the world, and the young one try always to make something new.
Mm-hmm.
There are really few young master now because also the old master didn't want that his sons, for example, woke up at 4 in the morning, stay all day
Mm.
long in the furnace, go home at 8 at night. During the night, had a problem in front of 1,000 degree of the furnace.
Yeah.
Sometime they wanted a better life for the sons. So we lost a lot of
Yeah,
work
yeah, but
for this
Matteo,
reason.
they didn't want their children to go, as you say, they wanted a better life for their children, but they weren't ready to take in people from outside of Murano in, which would have helped the situation, wouldn't it? I mean, just because somebody is not from Murano doesn't mean he doesn't have the talent or the will as
No, no,
well,
but in the past it was impossible to have
Uh,
someone outside of Murano, but now I
thankfully,
think it's changing.
thankfully.
Has already changed something because there are more factory in which you can find not Muranese people,
And that's
skilled not Muranese people,
exactly
and
it's good.
normally are more interested than the
Hmm.
Muranese people. A silly
Yeah.
stuff. Close to my house, there is a guy from Rome. He
Mm.
moved to Venice because he's a player of Trump,
Oh, okay.
and
Yes.
but it wasn't so easy to be able to live just playing Trump.
Of
And
course.
he moved and started to work class, for example. He's
Okay.
probably 30, 35, 30 less, and he's working on glass.
And that's good.
He
Yeah.
moved, he felt in love too with the glass.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's not easy to find someone, but if you find someone that is really interested, is better because
Yes.
work with the heart.
Yes,
You know.
because it's not just about, well, I grew up with they really like I once at one moment you have the spark all of a sudden. Listen, I want to go a little bit more technical now, even though I don't know nothing. Uh, what is the
No worries.
difference? Listen, what's the difference between working carving Murano glass or carving glass from other countries? Because I know there is Murano glass is different from glass produced in other part of the world.
What changed for me normally is the hardness of the glass. I mean, the mineral component that create the glass
Mm-hmm.
are um, they use different receipt to create the glass. So
Okay.
sometimes add some grams or remove some grams of some mineral,
Mm-hmm.
change the hardness of the glass.
So
And
do you find it
sometimes
easier? Is it easier for you to work on Murano Glasso or is it
for me,
easier to work
nothing,
on?
no, nothing changed. I mean, now at the moment, when I start with a new kind of glass, I mean, if a new customer come to me, I discover immediately which kind of glass he produce because
Okay.
I can work on Murano glass, on IKEA glass, Bormioli glass, any kind of glass. It's on me to understand the
Mm-hmm.
hardness of the glass. So which wheels I have to use, and if
Okay.
I have to press too much or stay a little bit lighter, is
Mm-hmm.
on me. because when I touch a soft glass, I go immediately in deep.
Okay.
Instead of an hard glass, I have to press a little bit more.
Okay.
Nothing more than this. But if any kind of glass could be engraved, sometimes we
Okay.
engraved also the plexiglass, silly stuff.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, or something that could be engraved. But the material, the hardness, all as you call all the detail of the glass, the element of the glass don't give an influence too much on my work, because I discovered which wheels are better for me.
Are there different type of engraving with different names, or you just it's called engraving and that's it? Because I was reading somewhere battuto, but
No,
maybe
there is.
yeah.
More or less is I mean, the code work for me is always the same. If you are
Okay.
working on a beads, or if you are working on a big windows, on a big vase, everything else, the tools are more or less the same. What
Okay.
changed? The size of the tools, but the
Ah,
movement, the idea, the process is always the same. For
okay.
sure, to identify some techniques that are not different, because all the techniques that we use are mixed between, and there isn't a perfect border between two techniques. Sometimes they mix the strokes one over other one, because there is intaglio, there is battuto, there is molato, there is
Okay.
engraved, there is a lot of name that help us to identify, but always is a cold working.
Okay.
Sometimes someone identify the engraving by the position of the wheel. I mean, if it work vertically or horizontally.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Someone else instead by the result.
Okay.
Sometimes when you engrave it, then you polish the engraving, return to be brilliant, shiny. So
Okay.
is another kind. I think there aren't border age between the techniques. Are
Okay.
all mixed together and used just to help us, because sometimes it's easy to use a word that is similar to a result.
Where do you go for inspiration?
Uh, in the world.
Okay. Now, but I don't know, when does it happen to you that you get a moment where you go like, I'm stuck. Okay, blank. Nothing comes to my mind. Let me, I need to go and,
For the moment, luckily no. I mean,
wow, that's good.
normally I work. Honestly, I work mainly for third part. So normally they ask me directly what they want.
Okay.
I have some samples. I have a lot of pattern already on the paper or someone asked me, normally now, as we told in the past, they send you an email with the drawing, with anything that they want. So it's easy for me. But sometimes, for sure, you have to create something. And sometimes, or better, not often, but always, I start with an idea, and during the process, I change my mind.
Okay.
99% when I start with something, I never finish it that way, but I change because during the process, you see that probably it's better to change here, to add something here, to remove
Well,
here.
listen, but I think it's the greatest gift for somebody to be able to change along the way, because if you're always stuck in your ways, then it's a very sad life, isn't it? It's
I
easy to
know.
say when you're working on design and
I'm
stuff like
always
that.
looking for something strange, something that gives me satisfaction.
Yes,
And
yeah.
often when I finish an engraving, I'm not satisfied. But
Ah,
for example, friends, or people, or the customer himself, they tell me, no, it's perfect, it's what I wanted. But I don't feel so good with the result. But the result is good for the customer. So
exactly.
I,
And
I,
clients
I
is
I
the
my
customer
work
is always right.
No, I mean the needs of the customer is my focus. I mean,
Exactly.
if they want to make an hole on the goblet and when you drink, you wash yourself, why not? They ask that, and they do that.
Listen, we've got one last question. Have you got a project that you're dreaming of that right now looks like it's impossible, but could be doable in, let's say, 5 years?
I'm always dreaming, but honestly, I'm feel perfectly like I wanted. I mean, I have my
Okay.
own job, I
Mhm.
have my
Beautiful,
family.
beautiful, beautiful shop, by the way. Little beautiful, a real artisan. I mean, are you still in the same place I came to visit you a few years ago? Yes,
Yeah.
in the court. Yes, it feels like
Yeah,
it feels like stepping back in time when you walk into your shop a little bit. You know,
yeah,
like I imagine artisan working, you know what I'm saying, like I don't know, I felt it so now it reminds me of my dad a little bit when he used to work in, in his shops and stuff like that.
yeah. No, but honestly, I don't have any special dream. I feel really satisfied because I'm free. I'm alone. I can work with no stress.
Mm-hmm.
I I flown around the world. I met a lot of people. I'm still in touch with a lot of people,
Well,
and
you really, I mean, your name, is a name. If you say Matteo Seguso, engraver, everybody pretty much in the world of glass know who you are. I mean,
more or
must
less,
have made your
yes, yes.
dad pretty, pretty, pretty proud.
Beh,
No?
yeah. No, yeah. But I mean, I never, uh, I never wanted to be famous. I mean, let me explain. I love, honestly, I love to be engraver. I love when I discovered that this art gave me a lot of satisfaction. So
Mhm.
I always tried to do my best. And I'm very curious. I always wanted, and I want right now to find, meet, see something new. So
Mhm.
the way to go around the world helped me. If I have to share something, it's not a problem for me because I have no sense to keep secret.
Mhm.
So all, as you say, my name is Renuna on the glass world, but because I never say no. I mean, if someone come to me and ask me, we can try to do this, for sure. We have to
Mhm.
try before. So I really, any challenge for me is like a lymph of life, no?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I want
Mm.
always to create something. So I don't want nothing more than this.
Mhm.
And
I think it's actually what artisan in general should be like. I think this is a great lesson that a lot of artisans should listen to. That sharing is good. Obviously, there's gonna be people out there try to copy or whatever. That's normal. That's life. But talent cannot be copied. You know.
But everybody say that if someone copy you means that you are working on the right direction.
Exactly, exactly. And you will always
So,
be the first one anyway. So that's what I
but
always say.
for sure in the past I have I found a lot of people that try to copy or make something. I angry with a lot of people sometimes. But when you realize that you was the first one to do that,
Yeah, yeah,
and have no chance to fight or to angry too much. Let the
exactly.
people do it. It's on you. You know, the people that are technical of
Yeah,
this art know you. So
exactly.
at the moment, have no sense to do.
Exactly.
Better if someone makes something mine because they let me to go around the world better.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, Matteo, where can they find you online? What's your website and your social medias?
But just to put my name, Matteo Seguso, you find my website. That is www.matteoseguso.it, com, what you want. and Matteo Seguso on Facebook, Instagram. I have also other social media, but I don't use it
Okay,
anymore.
the main ones.
I prefer to engrave than to stay on the
Well,
social media.
absolutely. Listen, Matteo, it was so nice talking to you. Finally, I've been trying to get him on the show for like 4 years or something like this. It's the
Both
first
of
time.
us are very, very crowded, very, very occupied, so very busy for all the jobs like
I
this.
know you are.
So
Thank you so
anyway,
much.
never say never, never say never. You know,
Yeah, I
we
know,
really
I
got it.
know. Listen, thank you so much, and I'll allow you now to go back to your work because I know you're very, very busy. Thank you again for talking to us. Ciao,
It was a
ciao.
pleasure for me. See you. Bye bye to everybody. Ci sentiamo. Ciao.
Ciao, 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 ciao. Thank you so much, Matteo, for the lovely chat. You can find Matteo on www.matteoseguso.it and on all social medias as Matteo Seguso. Thank you again for listening. Venice Talks podcast is a production of Sentire Media, created, produced and hosted by me, Monica Cesarato. Follow Venice Talks wherever you get your podcast, and if you want to book a food tour or a cooking experience with me, you can find me over at www.monicacesarato.com and on all social medias with the handle @monicacesarato, where you can follow my adventures around Venice. And don't forget, if you love this episode, please rate it and leave a review. It's very much appreciated.
Sentire Media.
Hey, podcast producers and show hosts. Do you want to join a podcast network that celebrates all things Italian? At Sentire Media, we understand the allure of Italy and its unique culture. Our devoted team of hosts and producers are all driven by their shared passion for Italy. And we work tirelessly to create the best lifestyle podcasts and content that will whisk you away to the very heart of Italy. With us, you can savor the mouth-watering flavors, get lost in the stories from the past, break down the cultural barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions of this intoxicating country. If you have a great podcast idea or are already in production and would like to join Sentire Media, head over to sentiremedia.com, that's SENTIRE media.com, and find out how to submit your show.